name is Rogelio Martinez, and I'm the president and founder of Fast Cloud Consulting, the makers of FranFast, our complete franchise management suite built on the Salesforce Platform. In the past, I had the incredible opportunity to lead some of the most iconic franchise brands in their segments. In my last role as a franchisor, and just before creating FranFast, I had the privilege to be the president of what is arguably the oldest franchisor operating today, a company based in Princeton, New Jersey that has been franchising since 1889. There, at that company, I undertook the initiative of modernizing their technology stack to help us better manage our franchises that at that time we were operating in more than 50 countries. So not an easy task. Probably many of you have been in that position as well. So after weeks of research in the market for the right franchise management solutions, I became convinced that there was nothing that could really unite our entire company and have full visibility across departments. I did not want to end up having 10, 15 different solutions, all disconnected across the company. That is exactly when I decided to do something about it. So many of our franchisees have become entrepreneurs. I also wanted to be an entrepreneur and decided to take the next several months to personally craft what today is FranFast, the very first franchise management solution built on the Salesforce platform. So let's begin the tour, shall we? What we did for FranFast is we wanted to have a core on what we call the 4 pillars of franchise success. Pillar number 1, franchise development manager. And we will take a look at the details in just a moment. Pillar number 2, new store opening tracker. Pillar number 3, operations and compliance tracker. And pillar number 4, franchisee communities. What we want to achieve with these 4 core pillars is to give you the opportunity of what we call become the connected franchisor. No more copy-pasting information from franchise development to real estate and operations once you sign a new franchisee. No more lost information throughout the life of your franchisee from real estate to operations and renewals. We wanted to give you a single solution that together with your POS and your accounting system would be everything you might need to drive your franchisees to the success. So why don't we take a look at the solution? Here we are at the homepage of FranFast. There is a very easy navigation by using the tabs at the top from left to right, so you can quickly get to anywhere you want in the system. On the right side, there is an incredible integration with Gmail or Outlook, so your emails, your events, with a single click would be synced with our system. Given that we have users from multiple areas using our system, like operations, franchise development, etc., we customize the look and feel, including the KPIs or the dashboards and reports that you would see on the homepage. This is an example that we have for franchise development. And these dashboards may be different than yours. This is just an illustration of how they might look like. For example, this one, we can see the December sales. All Dinamarca has closed $490,000 in franchise fees, while Rogelio Martinez is at $400,000. On the right side, we have the candidates inbox. As you probably know very well, time kills deals. So we need to make sure that we are on top of our deals. So our system has an integration with your website. So any person requesting information from your franchise would arrive directly to our web system, FranFast, and we have alerts. So we can do different distribution, like round robin. If you have multiple teams and we need to evenly distribute the leads, we can do that. Or we can do automatic assignment rules by state, by country, by time of the day if you want. And all this gets personalized based on what you need. Now that we had a quick tour on the homepage, let's take a look at what we would consider as being part pillar number 1, franchise development. I'm going to click on my contacts, and here I have the intelligent view. If I have candidates I'm working with or candidates that just arrived, I would quickly see them. I can have different icons. I can have the alerts. As I was telling you before, if I get a new candidate, I might be alerted by the little bell over here. As we are full mobile compatible, we can also send a push notification to the app, or we can do an email alert. Time kills deals, right? So the intelligent view quickly tells me that I have 3 candidates, but 2 of my candidates have no activity. So that alerts me that something is happening and I don't want to lose track of one of my candidates. So the system helps me to be very proactive with my franchise discovery selection process. Let's take a look at Jimmy candidate here. So with Jimmy candidate, we have all the information we need to quickly understand in which stage we are. If I scroll down on the right side, you can see that we have scheduled the FTD review. Remember, we synchronize with the Outlook or Gmail agenda. We also have tasks. I need to schedule a call with the wife. I have registered the calls. Either we can register the call in the system, or we also support telephony integration. One of our favorites is Ring Central, but we work with many. The emails, even if I send the emails from the system, it would be using the servers of Gmail or Outlook. So it's not a strange email that goes to spam. It would actually look like if you, well, it's like if you had actually sent it from your Outlook or your Gmail. I can see here that if I send the emails from my system, FranFast, I can see if they have opened the email or they have not opened yet the email here, unopened or last opened a day ago. Then I can track the brokers that I have. Here I can see that Jimmy Broker sent this referral and he's from the Broker Network Associates. That's great. So we'll make sure that we properly credit their referrals. Now let's take a look at the applications. You know that sometimes some candidates have applied last year, 2 years ago, and then again this year. That happens, you would see the multiple applications and the different dates the candidate has applied, regardless of having been approved or not. So that gives you a lot of intelligence on how to work with this candidate this time around. So let's take a look at how we track the progress. Our discovery and selection process gets fully customized. This is an example of how you can track your process, like new prospecting, first call, second call, invalidation, etc. And sometimes you have multiple parties be part of the same application. So you can track the multiple partners and their role, such as silent investor, lead investor, spouse, rich uncle, etc. We can also track the different territories. If you are working on exclusive territories, we can upload the U.S. Census Bureau data, for example, so you can properly manage your territories. Applications, this is a great feature because if you have someone that is applying for new location, renewal, transfer, we can have different type of applications, and the system can actually send the application out by email using a link, so your candidates quickly fill out the applications, and the application is sent back to the system, so you don't need to be copy-pasting forward files from your email, etc. Everything is well organized, and you also get a notification once the application has been filled. Now let's take a look at how all your applications look like. Let's go to the recruitment all. I'm showing now the good old table format, but I'm actually very visual. So I'm going to select the world famous Kanban view. I'm going to summarize by expected franchise free, and it's going to be summarized by stage, and we save. As you can see, we can quickly change the settings through the entire system. So if I had this candidate in order, probably one is ready to move forward, I just drag and drop. This is great because it allows your VP of franchise development to do an incredible work with pipeline review with all your franchise development managers, and also understand if someone is getting stuck in a specific stage of the process. Now let's pretend that our candidate, Jimmy candidate, is ready to sign. He just completed the agreements, and now he has been approved by Legal and Business. Congratulations, you have one more franchisee. And now let's start on what we call the second pillar, the new store opening tracker. We have an incredible functionality here to help your real estate and construction team manage the development schedules. So I'm going to select that Jimmy went with a multi-unit agreement, and the agreement starts actually on the 1st of March, and it's going to be a 5-year term. So we're going to click next. And on the first year, from March 1st, 24 to 25, he's committed to do 2 units. Then on the second year, it's going to be 2 units. On the third year, 2 units. One of our most popular integrations is with DocuSign. So let's take a look at how DocuSign can help you with FDD receipts in a very expedited way, as well as your franchise agreements signature. Other use cases may be letters of intent or credit card, background check, credit checks, consent. So as an example, let's click here on Create FDD. And now what the system is doing is it's checking the state of residence. You probably know well that if you are in New York, you might be disclosing someone differently than if you are in California or you are in Ontario, Canada. So here, our seamless integration with DocuSign is kicking in. We see that the system automatically brought this FDD version, and now I'm going to click on my magic button here, Send FDD version 2024. So now DocuSign doing its magic. We see that it has tagged the right FDD version. We are checking on recipients, Jimmy candidate. If I need to add more recipients, we can do that easily. And then we click on next. DocuSign is preparing it. And now we get the very well-known DocuSign interface. You have probably interacted with this type of signature many, many times before. And then we just click send. Now what is happening is that your franchise agreements, letters of intent, FDD receipts, whatever you are using inside FranFast would be sent to the recipient, would be signed by the different parties, and then once everything is ready, it will go back and be recorded in the folder of your candidate inside FranFast. We can track here the progress. We can see here that Mike Sloan, which is my user, sent the envelope, and once it's signed, we would be seeing here the information with the signature date and the document. Now let's go back to our franchise development schedule. So Jimmy candidate just completed setting up the schedule, but now we need to start building the new franchise. So we are back to Jimmy's view, and we are going to go to the first term, March 1st this year to March 1st next year, target number of units 2. We click on the first term, and now we see here that we need to go ahead with 10. We have open 0 and all the information we knew before. Sometimes the development schedules are quite complex, multiple units in a given year. So we have the visual graph over here, so you can also track it more visually. But let's get started with first unit. Now we're going to click on new franchise, and we are going to develop our first in Waco, Texas. Oh yeah, 001. We click on next. And now the container for your first unit is ready to go. We have the construction path, my problem study site in review. If your franchisees or real estate brokers are submitting sites with pictures and information such as size, parking space, strip mall, shopping mall, etc., we have an approval process that can be incorporated. So these are examples on how you might want to follow your path, like financing, LOI, lease, design, construction, equipment, business prep, and opening. And underneath, we have containers or tabs for the different information. This is a way some franchisors use it, like, and let's go to site information. You have actual lease sign, actual opening date, or financing information. Let's say that this financing has already been approved. We save LOI information, lease information, like free rent terms, renewal terms, etc. Construction, of course, very popular for project management. But some franchisors use it differently. They have the 4-week before, the 8-week before, whatever way it works best for you, we will customize it. Now, every time we set up a new solution for a customer, there is already an incredible amount of tasks, probably 100, 200, 300. We like to automate all those tasks so they all get automatically assigned with due dates based on your expected launch time, and this helps bring everybody together including your real estate guys, your training guys, your IT guys, your marketing guys, your franchisees, and your vendors. So no more calling to see if they have completed something. Everybody that should have access to the system can have access to the system, and only to the information they should see, and only what they can update or what they can view. So now let's imagine that we just open the unit, we check on open, and if we refresh, now we open, the open icon would be green. Now that the new unit in Waco, Texas is open, let's take a look at how we are doing with the rest of the construction process. We're going to select here on the list views, we are going to select all. So once we select franchise status, we click on save. And now we can see all our franchise locations being built, from still not started to site in review, financing, LOI, lease, design, etc., until the opening stage has been completed. Now let's move on to the third pillar, and let's take a look here at one of our California franchisees. So this is the master view of the relationship that you have with your franchisees. We are able to see the different contacts they might have. For example, the store manager, the owners, the emergency contact. If you even want the past staff, can be there. So by clicking on Tom Terry, we would get to all his information, but this is a quick view, phone, email, etc. We can also take a look at the support request or field request. Franchisees often need support, and you want to probably provide world-class support. So the solution allows us to have service level agreements, automatic response emails, and answers to give your support department speed and agility while having full visibility of what the franchisees. We can also see all the franchises the different franchisees have in a quick view. So we have here this one in construction, and we might want to take a look at the billing events. Our solution is able to set an integration with a Stripe, so we can do automatic royalty collection, marketing, funds, a technology fee, annual convention, etc. We can take a look at the development schedules, the territories, as we mentioned before, and all the recruitment processes. We can see here that before we approved for a transfer, and now this and same franchisee is looking for a new location also in California. If we scroll down, we can see all the information of this account, like the annual revenue. As mentioned probably before, we can integrate with POS systems or accounting systems like Toast or the different POS systems. You can take a look at the map of the area, and then in more detail, we can also see the information we were looking on the quick view. So let's continue with the operations and compliance feature, and there is a functionality that we saw was quite important for our franchisees, and we call it the register compliance ops. Often franchisees need to report the insurance documents or the lease agreements, etc. So we created this functionality. It could be renewal docs, business insurance, licenses, health inspections. Let's go with business insurance, and we can set alarms or alerts when this needs to be renewed. And the alerts can go both to the franchisor and the franchisee. You can add a copy of the document if you want, so everything is well organized. We click on next, and it says, please upload before click next. Okay, I actually need to upload the document. So some rules there that don't allow me to move on if I don't do the work properly. And we click now next, and it asks me if I want to add more documents or not. We click on next, and now we are ready to go. And next year, the system will alert me a week before, a month before, 3 months before, depending on the customization you need on the new renewal doc. A thing that we found with many of our customers was transferring location from one ownership to the next ownership and not merging the history that you have between the two groups, like doing like a freeze at the time of the transfer and then move on to the new ownership. So this is why we created the transfer functionality. So it allows us to freeze in time until the date you had the relationship with the previous ownership, and then move on and start with the next ownership without losing the entire history. Once that transfer is activated, we would see here the franchise predecessor for the previous ownership and the successor for the new ownership. But now we are here, let's take a look at the P&L functionality. For many franchisors, it's very important to track how the costs, especially restaurants as an example, the alcohol, the food, the rent, the labor. So we created this functionality where you can track based on reports that franchisees can submit or based on integrations with accounting systems or POS systems. So we can track, for example, beer and wine, alcohol, labor, rent, etc. This is quite important for your field success coaches. Make sure that they are tracking the health and the best business practices in terms of benchmarks for your franchise network, such as average rent per square foot, etc. Another quite popular functionality is the create assessment plans. You know that there are so many types of inspections, quality audits, reviews, business plan reviews, etc. So we created this wizard that allows for you, the user of our system, franchisor, build your own templates for any type of inspection secret. So let's take a look at that template that I just assigned. Now we can see it here, sample kitchen assessment template. Let's take a look at this one. And now let's get ready to fill this out. As we are fully compatible with mobile or like Android, iPhone, or tablets, this can easily be submitted through the mobile device by your franchisees or the staff of the franchisees. Although this computer is not a mobile device, we can quickly simulate how responsive this is so you can have a better idea on how this might look like in your mobile device. So here, if we are submitting this from a mobile device, we would be taking pictures. So the pictures would be using your camera from the phone, so you can set the proof, like, is the kitchen floor clean, and then the picture, or you can upload a document, is the kitchen equipment working, and the picture, comments as well. We can type comments there, then we submit. And once we are submitting, we are creating scores. Depending on the scores, we can set automations. For example, if someone has 3 stars or less, there might be an automatic email alerting the supervisor, and as well as an automatic task to follow up within 1 week, 3 days, 1 month to set up a remediation plan. Once we start adding more and more reviews, we would be adding data sets where would start building trends, either going up, going down, and could be aggregated by the group of franchises that belong to a franchisee, or all the franchises in the state, or the entire country, or system-wide. So your field support coaches can see the trends and start doing remediation plans. Of course, we would not be done without tracking the money. So we also created some amazing functionality for our financial guys, CFOs of the franchise network. So we can see here the different billing events. This is overdue, some outstanding, the amounts outstanding. And again, we can also use the Kanban view to visualize this. For the management team, we made sure we are ready with some great dashboards. So we have some examples here, like let's go to, for example, financial reports. So we can track how we're doing with the money, like collections this month, outstanding this month, billing events collected. We don't have a lot of data in this system, but you have the idea, like past due billing events, quite important. And of course, we can automate follow-up emails to make sure that your accounting department doesn't spend the entire day calling franchisees, but just automatic reminders 5 days prior, 10 days prior, due date, 3 days. Here we can see a different type of report. We can see the variance between target number of units versus open units by term, or we can probably see the construction pipeline, the build-ups by state, etc., etc., etc. And remember, these are examples. Every franchisor tracks a little bit of different metrics. We would be customized this. And we have not forgotten about the support team. So let's go to field requests. Let's change the view here. Let's go to open field requests. And we can see the table view. Let's move it to Canva view. Let's group by status, shall we? And again, we can see here how these field support requests are coming from the field. This can be sent by a web form, or people can, if someone calls, the person receiving the call can create the support, also through the franchisee community, which we will see in just a moment. For our legal team, they really love having a full view on all the legal documents, such as all the FADs, all the receipts side, all the franchise agreement side. That's, of course, important. We can easily change the list views, not only for the legal documents, but for any other type of document in list views. For example, let's add the electronic disclosure date, the receipt sign, so we can do some automation there on the 14 days prior to signing or paying anything. And now you can see the FTD receipt signed, and if it was electronic or not, or any other color that you might. If you're quite active on transfers or reserving territories, or you just want to see how your territories are doing, we also have the territory. I just added a few more columns. Now we can see San Francisco. It's awarded, belongs to the California Franchisee 1. And we are uploading data for, number of businesses, number of X. So you would be able to see here on the columns any type of demographic data that might be important for you. It is also important to be organized with all the files that you need to share with your franchisees or internally at franchisor level. So we have this in functionality as well. We can go to libraries. You can have multiple amount of libraries. We can just click here on create new library, and would be able to create like a marketing library, the operations library. And something quite important is that you can manage the membership. So you can decide if you give access to your franchisees or to the operations team or the franchise development team and more. And finally, the fourth pillar, franchisee community. With FranFast, you will be able to provide your franchisees a vibrant and collaborative way to better work with you and the fellow franchisees. We have a vast array of layouts, and we can personalize folders and pictures, etc. And this is the same system. This is FranFast, but we created this very nice
in a world of fragmented
for your franchisees to have access to their data and only their data. At the top, you can probably recognize some of the tabs that we were seeing a moment ago, such as the applications they have done, or they probably want to buy more franchises, so they can do a new application, or the assessments they need to submit on a monthly, weekly, daily basis, the billing events, the development schedule they need to complete. They want to create a field request for support. They can easily and not only review what they have created in the past, but they can also create a new field request, and that gets sent directly to the right people in your support department. They can also take a look at how they are doing with the real estate progress with the different franchise units that they have in their interest group. And they can also check on different documentation. They can get to the different collaboration groups. Instead of clicking here on franchisee advisory or getting started, I will go now to home, and we can see those groups here. So for example, franchisee beta group, I can go here and I can join the discussion. So I see here that how do I get my new list, like marketing list or whatever. So we can join the conversation, and it's fully secure. It's part of the entire system security. So no more leaked data going through WhatsApps or different chats outside the property of your franchisor. And we can like elements, we can answer, we can add pictures or documents, we can use emoticons. So this is pretty much like social media for your network. And this is a way for franchisees to can collaborate and just be more efficient and have more collaboration, not only with franchisees, franchisor, and foster innovation. And with this, we have completed the 4 pillars of FranFast. So we hope you enjoyed the webinar, and now you can write to us at contact@franfast.io, or you can use any of the phone numbers we have on the screen, and one of our team members will be glad in assisting you and review together with you how FranFast can take your franchise network to the next level. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Rogelio Martinez, President and CEO of Fast Start Consulting, the makers of FranFast, the first franchise management suite built on the Salesforce platform. See you soon.